Okay, so I request everyone to put off the mics if they're not speaking. Right, guys? Please turn off your mics if you are not speaking. Okay. Yeah, guys. So I welcome you again to the third episode today of the Curio's executive webinar series on career development in pharma and healthcare industries. So this is for everyone who wants to know where they can go in the career and in the healthcare and pharma industries. So these webinars have been put up to explore the potential career options with us here, right? And we have already conducted first two episodes of these webinars, right, on the pharmacovigilance. First was on pharmacovigilance and international regulations, and second was on hands-on training in the signal detection. And today we have one of the amazing and wonderful webinar on medical and regulatory writing. So next two webinars will be today's, and next on December 17th will be on the medical writing only. So today we will be covering medical writing, regulatory writing, and all the career aspects related to that. So in that, not only about the medical writing, like what is medical writing, how you can make your career, but we will be talking about the career opportunities and scopes in the medical writing. What is the basic salaries, how you can join, what are the skills required to join as a medical writer in the industry. We'll be covering all those. Okay, we'll be covering all those, right, guys? So with that, I'll not take much time. And guys, let me tell you proudly that at Curio we have come up with many courses. Many courses means a lot of courses on medical writing and pharmacovigilance, and we have recently launched multiple courses in pharmacovigilance and multiple courses in medical writing. So as you can see here on your screen, we have two courses right now in medical writing. One is executive diploma in medical writing, one is executive certificate in medical writing, right? So the last date for registration has extended now for the diploma and executive certificate both, and these courses are starting from the January 7th. So if you are interested, you can definitely join these courses, one or two, whatever. If you feel, you can join the executive diploma in medical writing. And let me tell you guys, till date we have almost filled our 70% seats in diploma in medical writing. Executive diploma in medical writing is one of the best seller of Curio till date, and we have filled around 70% of our seats. So if you are thinking of, this is a 6 months course, 4 months of extensive theory learnings, live classes, 100% live classes, and 2 months of industrial training. Okay, and along with that, we'll be giving you all kind of other trainings like soft skills trainings, email writing, CV writing, covering letter writing, and communication skill development, and personality development sessions free of cost along with these diploma courses and certificate courses if you are joining us. So this is a complete package for you in just 4,000 rupees, 3,999 rupees. The 6 months complete package will be coming in 4,000 rupees for you. Okay, so with that, I'll not take much time and I'll hand over the session to our today's speakers, Dr. Akshima Sahi and Sarabji. So they will be introducing themselves and then they will be covering the topics related to today's webinar. So over to Sarabji. Please, Sarabji, first, please introduce in a brief and then please go ahead. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Jeet. It's always a great opportunity whenever you invite us, because sharing a knowledge is such a wonderful thing. Because when 10, 12 years back, we wanted to figure it out our career, there was no one to tell us, I wish you would have existed at that time.
Thank you.
Right.
But yeah, right now we can at least
so it's always pleasure to talk about career. Even if we can guide student 10%, I will feel like it's like our blessings, right, that we are able to share whatever knowledge we have gained with the community. So medical writing, as you know, that it's like a wonderful career. Even few years back when I was starting into this, rather Akshima was the one who was more innovative in this, and she's the one who always do let me know that, oh, this is wonderful career, and this what we can do, how it is more good for long term. So she is the best speaker, I will say, for today, the best speaker. So I hope student will gain something very important from this talk. So I can introduce Akshima. She's a dentist and she's a clinical researcher. She has worked in varied fields like PV, clinical operations, and of course in medical writing. And she's the only one from us who has experience in medical writing, right? And additionally, she's the one who has an opportunity to take the live consents, right? So most welcome, Akshima. So over to you, and of course student will gain lot of knowledge from you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarab, for this wonderful, introduction. I know, and it's like the other way around. Rather, you inspired me to be in this profession, and it is like a mutual journey we started, and we have both have come a long way. And as Sarabjit rightly mentioned, that when we started this career, actually there was no one to guide us. So, students, you are quite fortunate that Dr. Ajit has started such a wonderful platform. I mean, basically, during our times, most of the courses were oriented on clinical research and pharmacovigilance, but there was no specific course for medical writing as such. So, this is a golden opportunity, as I could see on the screen, the way these courses have been coming up. You all must register to these courses. I think it's a very minimal investment. Rather, if you go and buy a pair of jeans for yourself, they will cost you more than this particular course. So it's a great buy. You should invest yourself in learning, because it is going to give you a long term good results. So and you know in this, to be in this platform, it's a privilege. And it's more than a volunteer service for people like Sarabjit, myself, and Dr. Ajit, because hardly any amount is being charged for these courses. And knowledge which these speakers and the faculty has gained from so many years, we are openly sharing it with you, so that you also reach the same heights, rather great sorry rather greater heights than everyone who is going to teach you for these courses. So with these opening remarks, I am going to share my screen, and um, let me know if it's visible to all of you, and we can start with the session.
It's
Sarah,
coming.
yeah,
It's visible, Akshima. Yes.
yes. So let's start. So I'm going to cover a few topics, and then I'll hand over the mic to Sarab to take the further talk on this session. I'll be basically covering majorly what are the types of writing, and how you all can become a competent writers. So let's kickstart with the first slide, and this is majorly speaking about what are the types of medical writing. So you all can easily make out what medical writing is. So medical writing is basically a branch of writing which specifies, or which elaborates, or which encompasses, and it entails a specific form of writing, which is done by generally the writers who have a medical or a scientific background. And rather, any person can do it, but one has to be scientifically sound to put down the knowledge for the target audience. So now the target audience depends on the type of documents you all would be authoring. So if the target audience is regulatory, or the regulatory bodies, you all know there are certain regulatory bodies which see the documents, like US FDA. So whatever documents we would be authoring for such bodies, that would fall under the regulatory writing part. So the language and the style of writing that a medical writer will have to adopt would should comply by what that kind of audience would want to understand from the documents. And there are medical writers who are writing on open platforms, or who are writing on who are creating SEO related content. So we'll be discussing all that in our upcoming slides, but that is just to tell you what is medical writing and what do medical writers do. So the type of medical writing is medical journalism, educational medical writing, the medical marketing of healthcare products, publication or presentation, the research document, or regulatory medical writing. So we'll be discussing all these verticals in details in our upcoming slides. So let's start with what is medical journalism. So medical journalism, it contains newspaper and magazine articles. They are mostly for the general public and lay people and need to be written in simple, non-technical language. So if you open any website, so personally, I have also worked as a content writer. I have worked in medical journalism domain. So what do? They either gather the articles or the related searches from the internet, or they visit the relevant people of that particular domain, and then they jot down the language in they jot down whatever the information they would want to give in their own or in their own language, and which is very simple and which can be understood by lay people or laymen. This falls under medical journalism. And medical journalism is quite a well known field in these European countries. Like, I remember I used to work for an organization where I got an opportunity to work under one of the writers who used to visit, even the Nobel laureates, and she used to write down what he or she used to say about that particular topic, about that particular scientific topic, and then that particular article, what she used to write in her own language, used to get published in the website. So this type of writing is known as medical journalism. Then we come to educational medical writing. So it means writing documents about drugs, devices, and biologics for general audiences and for specific audiences such as HCPs, or which are called healthcare professionals, or easy referrals and understanding. You know that generally we need there is a part of writing. You must be seeing that there are certain medical representatives who are visiting doctors. They have their leaflet kind of thing. They're explaining about the drugs. So this is a one basic example which I'm giving you. So that falls under medical education. Or there are CMEs, which are being held at a regular interval of time, where the doctors or the fraternity is getting trained on the upcoming diseases, upcoming drugs, or upcoming innovations in that particular industry. So this all falls under educational medical writing. So what all it includes? It includes sales literature for newly launched generic drugs. If the doctor fraternity is to be made aware about a new drug which is coming up in the market, e-learning modules for healthcare professionals, patient educational materials, data presentations for medical conferences, medical journal articles for nurses, physicians, and pharmacists, and programs and enduring materials for continued education or continued medical education. So majorly the content which is prepared for education under educational medical writing is for training the healthcare professionals or the professionals in that particular fraternity, so that they become aware or they can keep abreast themselves with the latest knowledge about the therapeutic area, or about the any upcoming drugs in that particular field or industry. So I'll take a small pause here. Sarab, if you want to add anything, Dr. Ajit, or audience, if you have
Akshima, So you have described very well. One key question that audience want to know is that where they can apply for these type of jobs. Any reference organization, if you can mention one or two names, so they can relate it, like where they can apply for a medical journalism. So that was one of their question.
Yes, yes. So there are many platforms, Sarab, which have come up. One of my friend actually is working in one of. She's basically developed an app, which is a mobile application, and there they are uploading articles, medical or healthcare related content or articles. There are many websites on the internet. For example, even like WebMD, such websites, they all fall under medical journalism. If you visit even WebMD as a website, you will see certain articles there, which are evolving due to medical journalism, because the writers or the people who are working for that organization, they visit the people, or they are writing the articles based on the recent publications or need. For example, COVID was a hot topic last year. So you search on any, you google out anything, any top 10 websites where you are able to view that particular content. Top 10 websites on Google, which is this is also known as SEO writing, where you create the fresh content which is plagiarism free, and any website which is on the top of that list is doing the medical journalism. Or medical journalism will also include writing for a newspaper, for example. But
Mhm.
the audience can apply anywhere they would want to. You can apply on any such websites where you can read the medical content. So that is the place. I don't want to specify any website. I just gave you an example of WebMD, but there are multiple websites on internet where you can apply. And if the luck favors, then they will reach out to you, and if they like your writing skills, they will definitely keep you as an author or a peer reviewer. And
Yes.
for CME, educational medical writing, many of the companies who are into scientific writing, they are doing it. I think there are many Indian organizations, and there are many. In fact, every organization is to an extent is doing the CME work. Specifically, those who are not inclusively into regulatory, I would exclude them. But then otherwise, most of the organizations who are catering to scientific writing services, they are looking for candidates for educational medical writing. So the list is huge. I can't specify any organization's name, but there is an ample amount of opportunity for educational medical writing. You have to create fresh slide decks, you need to update the slide decks based on the most recent publications. So this all is there in uh, educational medical writing. Does that
Yeah.
answer, Sarab, or you can add?
Yeah. That's good. So I think we can move to next
Yeah.
topic. Yeah.
So next comes the medical marketing of healthcare products. It is also the medico marketing writing. What is medico marketing or this kind of writing? So this is also a promotional kind of writing. This is not a regulatory or mandatory writing, but for example, I'll start up with a very simple, very on an example how I what kind of work I did. So I was basically working for an advertising agency, and then they were catering to the needs of people of the vendors who were looking to promote their particular services. For example, there was a vendor who was looking for they were doing this health for care service, for at home service, like ICU services at home. So the need for that particular the need for that particular client from we being as a vendor was that to create such promotional material which they can show to they can show to authorities, or maybe the doctors, where they can prove that the ICU services at home is at par with the ICU services at hospital. I mean, they can create that kind of setup at home. Basically, this why medical writer was included there, because we did a lot of literature search. We did a lot of literature search that how can help these ICU services at home, how they can be more beneficial, because it is like the patient doesn't have to be in a hospital setup. All the attendees who would want to meet will not have to rush to the hospital so patient is in a comfort place. So all this, I just, not that I'm saying it, I have to write it. There's a lot of literature search which goes right. So then comes the need of a medical writer who can go research or search the who can do the secondary research on such articles, that is there any proof that a hospice care at home is equivalent to hospice care at hospital. So this kind of writing is medical marketing writing. You may need to prepare white papers, you may need to prepare a content which you can show, promotional material, catalogs, or some ad boards, or anything you may need. It depends upon the client who is looking for your service. You may need to prepare any kind of material for them, but it just cannot be prepared just by saying it. There has to be a solid proof behind it. And what would be the proof? The literature search, or the what has been there in this particular field. So why I gave this example, so that you all are able to relate that what is medical marketing writing. So if anybody asks you, so you can tell, now you know what is a medical marketing writing. Okay, so you may be reading this on the internet, but you may not be able to relate. But here in this platform, since we are kind of little bit of experienced in this industry, so we can share our live examples, that how we did, what is there actually in the industry for this service, this particular writing. So so what all it includes? It includes promotional literature targeted at healthcare professionals, product monographs, brochures, handouts. It also includes Salesforce training manuals, e-learning modules, and internet content from physicians and patients or the consumers. Okay, so you all know that this all is included, and I gave you an example to tell you that what is where medical marketing writing is needed. So I'll take again a pause here. Sarab, Dr. Ajit, if you want to add anything, if I missed out, if any other example you would want to share.
No, Akshima, I think you have rightly covered. At the end, we will take the question answers.
Okay.
Yes, at the end we will take the question answer.
So-
There is a question from Priyansu. Any difference between scientific writing and medical writing? That we'll take later. Definitely there is a difference. We'll take it later. Yes.
Yes. I think that will covered as we will progress, Dr. Ajit, in the slides,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. Yes.
And just to let you know, Dr. Ajit, there was one question, I think, at initial time that they were asking, what is the last date for the registration? Maybe you can answer later, just bringing in your attention. You are in mute.
It has been extended to 20th December. 20 December.
Okay. Cool. So we will take all the questions at the end. So we won't disturb you, Akshima. You continue.
Yes. Please go ahead, Akshima. Yeah.
So then comes the writing, which includes publication or presentation. It includes journal articles, manuscript writing, which includes research articles, case report, review articles. Then also abstract writing, poster and presentations for scientific meeting and conferences. So this is generally all the type of writing stuff which is included under publication or presentations. Publication or presentation may be required at various platforms. It may be needed by a client to kind of for their internal discussions or for their internal verifications. It may be needed at a larger platforms, or it may be needed to kind of educate the scientific community. It may be needed by the doctors who are doing the primary research. For example, a doctor working at a medical hospital, or working in a hospital, who is doing the primary research may employ a medical writer to kind of write their thesis or primary research, to put down it in a layered way. So this all is included in publication and presentation. You might have seen that you are visiting a hospital, and I don't know, means I have observed it many times that doctors who are doing any research or they generally give the thesis work to some experienced medical writers who can put down everything in a scientific, because they are busy in their research, they are busy in their search. But they employ medical writers to lay off or delegate this work to medical writers so that they can burn. And obviously the way a medical writer can put down the information, a doctor who's doing the primary research might not be able to, because of the writing expertise and because of the experience a medical writer carries throughout the year. So this all is include, this all caters to this. Then comes a writing which is very important. It is in this particular writing we have done in the domain of clinical research. So what it will include? It will include all the essential documents which are there in the clinical research domain. Like it will include clinical trial protocol writing, protocols, which is called protocol writing. It will include investigator brochure. Investigator brochure is a document which is a kind of a bible to the investigator of the study, where if he or she, the investigator of the clinical trial, feels that he needs to get back to any information, though he can easily open the investigator brochure and see that what to do in that particular situation. So it is generally considered the bible of a research. So for writing an investigator brochure, a medical writer is hired that can write all the essential part of the research which has been done, and what is the primary objective of this particular research. Everything is included. When you will study the investigator brochure in detail, you will come to know what that document is. But it is one of the most essential document in clinical research. Then comes the informed consent documents. It might look very simple, that just the consent is to be taken, but it is not that simple. An informed consent is also approved by the concerned authorities, and it has to be written the way it is there. The template is there, so it can't be haphazard. There is a fixed template for writing the informed consent forms. So for that also a medical writer is hired. Study reports are there, like CSRs, non-clinical study reports, clinical summaries, clinical overview. So all this is there in the study reports. Then comes the research proposals. Then research proposals is basically given to the regulatory authorities, that what they are looking for. And this kind of documentation, which is research oriented, comes under the essential documents. And majorly writers who are involved in such type of study are also a part of the clinical. They might or might not be a part of that particular trial, but they are aware of the activity which is going on in that particular clinical trial event. So then comes regulatory medical writing. So so till now we have covered. I'll just take a small rewind to whatever we have discussed. So we have discussed what is medical writing. We have discussed what is a general medical writing. I mean, what are the types of medical writing, generally speaking, how we divide it. So maybe you can call it, the previous writings which we have discussed is the content writing, the scientific writing, the medico-marketing writing. Now we have come to regulatory medical writing. So regulatory medical writing is an extension of the previous slide, the last slide. Just a second, please. So regulatory medical writing, it means that creating the documentation that regulatory agencies require an approval for the drug, devices, and biologics. Regulatory documents can be huge and are formulaic. So this documentation is to be approved by, it is needed by the regulatory agencies, and uh, it is created specifically for catering to their asks. There are fixed templates, there are certain fixed formats for creating any document which falls under the regulatory writing purview. um, from the beginning to the end of every document, the kind of specificity is there on the portals of these agencies, like USFDA, whatever, however they would want to see their particular documentation, they have narrated it in their website, in their portal, that what and how they want to see this particular form of particular set of document. So what all is included in regulatory medical writing? It includes BABE study protocols and BAB study reports. It includes patient or subject informed consent forms. It includes package inserts, prescribing of information, and patient information leaflets. It includes CSRs, or clinical study reports, and web synopsis. Regulatory submission documents are also called as clinical technical or CTD modules. And there are various, it's a plethora of documents which are there in under CTD module. When you will study these modules in detail, you will come to know what all the documents. But it would generally include non-clinical and clinical overviews, summaries, expert reports, safety and efficacy summaries, aggregate safety reports such as PSURs, bridging reports, PADERs, or periodic adverse drug experience reports, then annual safety reports, and policy papers. So it may sound quite heavy now, but as you would be progressing on with these sessions, you would easily understand what is a CTD, what are the modules, what all are the regulatory documents involved in it. But it was just to give you an overview that we are sharing, or we have kept this session. But this all is included in the regulatory writing domain. So that's it from my end, that what are the types of medical writing. And in the end, I'll also like to speak what all is required to be a skilled medical writer. So he or she should have the domain knowledge. For example, you are landing in the scientific writing domain and you are working for the CME slide deck work, then you should have you should know about how to study a literature review, how to study an article, how to take other crux of that article, so that you should have an expertise on. So you might be from any background, you might be a doctor, you might be in life sciences, you might be having a life sciences background, but you should know how to study a publication, how to take out the crux from it. So it all depends that what your interest is and where you want to take ahead your career. Generally, like, if you want to land into regulatory writing, then you should be aware, you should make yourself aware with the latest regulatory norms. I think
Someone's
please,
no worries, it's on mute now.
yeah.
Please go ahead. Sorry.
He or she should have medical and therapeutic area knowledge. The drug development process, pharmacology, drug safety, it is the basics you all should know. Statistics to an extent, yeah, I think partially you should all be aware of, because statistics, if you don't know statistics, then it will be very difficult for you to read the publications, stuff like publications. Then you should be you should be very well cognizant about the technical guidelines. Then general knowledge and skills, I mean the writing skills and overall skills. Language and grammar should be on the top of it. Literature and referencing searching, you should know that how to do literature search, you should know that how to do the PubMed search, for example, how to create a string in PubMed for the search, then you should know that. so it, like, as you would be progressing on these sessions, you would come to know that you would like one of the session which Dr. Ajit was sharing in the beginning. I think all such finer or granular details, that how you can become a skilled writer, would be included in that. I'm very sure that such finer details are there in that session. So it will help you to bring out your skills as a medical writer. But this is in general, which I have tried to jot down. Your interpretation and presentation of research data skills should be up to the mark. And what are the ethical and legal issues you should know? Generally, the guidelines you should be aware of. What is the Declaration of Helsinki, and all these terms ethical guidelines you should be aware of while you are trying to prepare yourself for this particular field. So that's it from my end, and from here I hand over the mic to Sarab. She'll take you further on the opportunities and how you can progress as a medical writer. So yeah, over to you, Sarab.
So thank you, Akshima. So I because you covered a lot, so I don't. So I won't be bringing more slides, but instead I wanted to answer certain questions that a student mostly have. The very first question, they may get confused that they need a very high level of English if they wanted to pursue a career in a medical writing. But as you rightly said, the domain knowledge is more important than other things. But of course, a competent level of English is needed, right? And if you are confused like which writing I should be picking, then I think regulatory writing is the safest one, because there you have a defined template. It's just like you have to fill the information for every section. There is some source document, right? But ultimately your domain skill, they will come in a picture, because if you are able to understand that information and able to synthesize that in a correct way, so that is there. And someone also asked what is difference between regulatory writing and a scientific writing. So regulatory writing, as Akshima rightly said, that when regulatory is related to government, right? When you need approval of any drug, device, vaccine, you need a approval from your government body. Like in our country it is DCGI, in US FDA. You have to take their approval, so these drugs are regulated. So any document that you are submitting for the approval of that drug, that is regulatory, because someone is regulating it. Now coming to scientific, any information that you are sharing with your scientific community, that is scientific writing. Say very basic example is your publications.
Yes.
You are abstract writing, or maybe presenting at a conference, right? That is falling under scientific writing. So that is the major difference. Any document that you are preparing for a regulatory body, say a DCGI or FDA, that is regulatory medical writing. Anything that you are maybe writing a research paper or maybe doing something extra which is shared with the scientific community is a scientific writing. There is a little more detail to that, but on a high level.
Yes,
Now
absolutely.
coming to, yeah,
Yeah.
I try to answer in a simple language. So second is
No, definitely.
Second, what role you can apply additionally, where you can apply, that can be the question. Okay, that's fine, I have done a medical writing course, where I can apply? You can apply in pharma companies. You can of course apply in the contract research organization. You can apply in a medical communication companies. There are many options. And another question which can be, what are the roles, right? These roles can be medical writer, easy to understand. Second is associate medical writer or trainee medical writer also these days, that's coming up. Even there is another role is QC specialist. Although it sounds like someone QC should be experienced, but this is an entry level position, QC specialist. But once you are in the field, suppose you have joined as a medical writer, then you will be joining in the range of 25,000 or 30,000 salary. But once you have experienced, you become senior medical writer. And Akshima can tell you, people in the senior medical writing position, they are taking package of 15 to 20 lakh. See, it's all depend on the skills, that how much skills you have gained, right? And then you can be a project manager, or then you can be a director or senior director. That is, then there is a ladder. So entry is little hard, because when you wanted to enter in a medical writing, you always be you have to face a little tough interview, I will say. There will be a written test, there will be question will be asked on these documents which Akshima shared with you. They may sound very technical to you, but once you are in the course, you will be taught on each document, right? And detailed notes will be shared with you. So that's all from my side. And any additional question you guys having?
Okay, so yes, thank you very much. Yes, guys, let me add a little bit. So, in a layman language, I'll tell everything is medical writing, and scientific writing, regulatory writings are the part of it. Okay, whatever you're writing, either that is for the pharma marketing, either that is for your publications, or for the scientific community, or for the regulatory bodies, either you're writing a protocol, either you are writing for the regulatory approval, either you are writing your scientific papers, or for the magazine, or for the Instagram, LinkedIn, or for the CMEs, everything is medical writing, because that is related to the healthcare. Okay, I'm talking about the healthcare writing, right? If you are from the medical background, pharma background, nursing background, or any other healthcare background, and if you know how to write, if you have the skills to write the things, write the things means, why I'm telling, it's a wide word here. Why? Because it contains from very start, right? As Dr. Akshima and Sarabji has described, there are many things to write, many things to in this area. Either this is from the market, this is from the regulatory. If you're writing a protocol, if you're writing the case report, if you're writing the review paper, if you're writing the systematic reviews, if you are going for meta-analysis, if you are writing the PSUR, your company reports, drug reports, or anything. Okay, that all comes under the medical writing, but different at different levels. It just differentiate. Okay, you should have the skill, and if you get expertise in one field, you will become the head of the field or master of the field, like regulatory writer, right? If you are good in scientific writing, you will be called a scientific writer. If you are good in post marketing writing, you will be post marketing writer. So there are many things, but all comes under the medical writing. Okay, that's my knowledge on this. And if you are learning this, you will be learning about all the documents, all type of medical writing, what are the skills required. And it is, I think, see, everyone literally, if you are not in the bachelor's, if you're PharmD or MPharm or medical, or everyone, you have to write at least one paper. You have to do some basic research. And if you know how to write that, because research project, you cannot start without writing a protocol. And protocol means the approval, that is the regulatory. Let me tell you, protocol writing is a regulatory writing, because that will go to the regulatory bodies, and regulatory body is institutional ethical committee, right? So you will learn regulatory writing, you will learn, I mean, at the bigger level, when you go to the industry, regulatory writing means you are taking the approvals for the drugs, for the clinical trials from the authorities. But when you are a student, you can easily learn that. Okay, and then you will be writing, you will be learning the scientific writing, because you will be writing your thesis, you will be making out the papers out of it. So you, as a student, can cover all type of medical writings if you are in any stream of healthcare. Okay, or if you are a faculty in healthcare, you have all type of knowledges. It is just like you have to refine it up a little bit. Okay, and you have to learn more skills, as madam was telling about language, scientific skills. You should be well versed about the medical terminologies, healthcare terminologies, and all, right? And nowadays there are things, English is required. Definitely English is required, good English is required, but nowadays there are a lot of tools like Grammarly and all to refine you. And you will be easily, if you are having this work, and if you are in this industry, then within 6 months you will be well versed with the grammar also, I'm very sure, right? And definitely we are providing all the support to you. So that's all from my side. Any other questions?
So thank you, Dr. Jeet. I was going through a comment section. I was just trying to pick whatever people have posted,
Yes,
right?
please go ahead.
So someone asked as protocol, you already explained. Protocol is plan of your study.
Yes.
So if you wanted to conduct any study, that plan is known as a protocol in very layperson's language. And BA studies are generic ones. That protocol is little easier than the IND or NDA
Yes.
protocol. I will say very easy to write. So and then there was another question that as a student, what we can do. As a student, you can do a lot. You have plenty of time. So as a student, maybe you can write a small article for your own college magazine. Start with that, right? Of course, you will be writing thesis. Try not to take help from anyone. Write by yourself, right?
Yes.
And maybe talk to your faculty. Ask them that I want to contribute with you. If they are working on some research paper, they will be more than happy, right? And additionally, what else you can do, keep on doing these type of courses, that will help you to build your knowledge. And so you at least start taking action on these items, right? And I guess there was another question, is that how I can start as a freelance as a fresher. Even Akshima can add on this, that she has worked as a freelance also in between. But my experience say that it's good if you can initially get some jobs, so hands-on experience will help you a lot. But I will also request Akshima to add here bit, because she has experience in this. So, Akshima, can you speak about little on freelance, how people can contribute as a freelancer in a medical writing or a scientific publication?
Yes, Sarab, I think you have almost answered this question, because the freelancing opportunity will also come your way if you have some previous expertise or experience, because as a freelancer you would be like a complete company. I mean, you will have to write your own work, review your own work, so there are no layers involved.
Yes.
So it looks to be very easy and exciting, but it is very difficult, because I'll not say that it is not achievable. I've done it for good 2.5 years, and I was enjoying that period of mine. But the very fact remains that you become an entrepreneur then. So you have to take the in charge of the entire document. You might not be even you might face challenges even signing the contracts, and at times clients might not would not want to pay you if you have done an underwork. The situation is very less, of course. I mean, such circumstances have thankfully never appeared to me, but you have to be on your toes always, because you are an author, peer reviewer for your work. There is nobody to guide you. So for that, I would advise, as Sarab just mentioned, that you must join some company before, or some CRO, or some pharma company, or any training course, or may you should attach yourself with your professors or colleagues who are already working or writing some research papers, and then get some hands-on experience before actually looking for a freelancing thing. And freelancing is a long-term career opportunity for a medical writing. That's why I always say that this career is never dies. It is a career which we can equate to doctors or CAs, or we say na, these careers never end. A career of a doctor never ends, but similarly a career of a medical writer never ends, because as you will gain on years, the more white hair you will have on your head, it means that you have more experience in this field.
Yes.
You
And Akshima, sorry to stop you. I mean, you can also agree with me. Organizations are struggling to hire a medical writer. There is a lot of gap, but they are not getting the right medical writers. It's hard for them to find the right
Yes.
medical. So there is a lot of demand and gap.
Yeah,
And
so
yeah,
Sarab, absolutely, and for that gap, these courses which have been designed, they are like life-saving drugs for all these children.
yes,
Believe me, guys, I mean, if such course have been at our times, I would have left no other opportunity but just to enroll myself. Not that, I'm saying it to promote anything. I mean, but I truly can relate to what you guys are there. I mean, 15 years or 12 years down the line when I was starting on this field, I just knew the word medical writing, but कैसे करना है, कहाँ जाना है, believe me, we were totally nowhere. I mean, there was a complete dark in front of us, like how to start. But luckily God favored and we could initiate it. But you must enroll in certain courses which you can, where at least for the interviews you will be kind of little prepared, so interviewer will be impressed that you have done some homework. So these
Yes.
courses form the backbone of your
Yes,
interview.
Akshma, sorry again to interrupt you. In
No, no.
continuation, there is another question I think you can answer better, because I know that you prepared few PV document also, right?
Yeah.
So the question is how medical writing and PV is related. So those reports, if you can talk little about that. There is a girl, Shweta Sharma, she asked this question.
Yes, Shweta. So basically, you see, medical writing, as Dr. Ajit was mentioning, the moment you are writing something which is related to science or medicine, it is medical writing. So, what is PV? You need to understand. PV is the post marketing, or the once the drug is circulated in the market, it is the study of the drug, of that particular drug. So, regulatory agencies, they need to know that how that drug is behaving in the market. So they would need continuous reports from that particular sponsor, that what is the status of, are there any new adverse events coming up, or are there any, what is the what is the response of that drug. See, VV reporting is not that sound in third world countries, but it is excessively sound in the Western world, where even a small incident, patient is people are so conscious that even if the capsule or the tablet is broken, so they will report it to the number which is there on the patient information leaflet. So that from there comes the basis of the PV writing starts with first the data entry thing. The data is being, and if any case is being made, for example, I reported that because of eating of X capsule I had a rash. So this becomes a case. So as soon as I'll call on the helpline number, I'm giving you a small cycle that how it will come to writing. So that if the rash is not listed as an event in that particular drug, then it will become a valid case. So when it becomes a valid case, it will go to the pharmacovigilance cycle. So once it is reported in the pharmacovigilance cycle, now after 6 months, the regulatory agency will ask that are there any new adverse events which have been reported in. So the pharma company will have to say that yes, there are X number of adverse events which are listed. So based on those adverse events which are there in the system, which we call as the data entry in pharmacovigilance, a case report or the report is being prepared. So who the writers who are writing that medical report, they are called as the the medical writers. So medical writers also work in the pharmacovigilance domain. Generally, writing in PV starts with the data entry step. Slowly you will be up level to PSUR writing or PADER or pabrers. These are the high end or the high level reports in the pharmacovigilance domain. So this is the form of writing in PV. The other form of writing is the regulatory, this is again a regulatory writing, but yes, it is during the life cycle of the drug that we are reporting to the regulatory agencies. So it's a very beautiful chain. If you'll start learning slowly, you'll learn that how you can. So once you are a writer, you are always a writer. You work on the preclinical or the clinical phases of the drug, or you start the post marketing studies and post marketing PV, or you work in the PV world, then also you become the writer in the end, because you will end up preparing these high end reports. There are signal detection reports. So this all is included there. So does that answer, Sarab, or you can add, or Dr. Ajit, if I have missed out?
Yeah,
No, I
yeah,
think
you
that's perfectly
explained very
fine.
well.
Very well, yes.
Yes, very well. So, I think, Dr. Ajit, we have covered most of the questions. There was one
There
question.
is a question, ma'am, are you still continuing as a medical writer? If not, why did you quit medical writing? Both are
No,
working.
no,
Yeah.
we are working in medical writing. So,
Yes,
guys, you will figure it out also, uh, because once entry in the field is little hard, you have to work hard. I still remember before my interview, I worked
I have
so
one
hard to
personal
clear
question
that
to
interview.
Sarabji. I have one personal question to Sarabji. How easy is the field of medical writing in industry? Because I heard that medical writing can be done from the work from home also. So that is my question for the professionals, for the girls especially, if they want to come into the medical writing field. How
So
easy?
this so one thing I would like to say, if you wanted to be successful in a medical writing, you have to be hardworking, so that is mandatory, right? Second is, the medical writing was the only field which was giving the work from a home option even before COVID. I was working from home before
Yes,
COVID.
absolutely. Yes.
So Akshima also had worked from home before COVID, right? So initially, I will say it is very good if you can work 1 or 2 years in the office, because that will help you to speed up your learning. And
Yeah,
after that, medical writing is such field where you can easily get a work from home. For girls, it is a very good profession.
very
And
good field.
you
Yes.
you can't imagine, we both started as a narrative writing, then we gone to in a complex medical writing. Akshima has done even PV, medical marketing. I moved to transparency. So you figure it out along the way. Starting is the important.
Okay, I have one very interesting question.
Hmm.
Uh, okay, someone is asking, why don't Ajit sir start the course on medical writing? We are already running many courses. Please join. I have shared the link also. Curio is our new institution. That is CliMed's only. Okay, part of CliMed only. Please join. Okay, please go through the website I have shared here. Okay, and there is a question, ma'am. Okay, that's over. Okay. Are there any internship opportunities especially for medical writing? Yes. Within this weekend, we will be launching the medical writing internships. 6 weeks medical writing internships with 6 projects. Okay, we are launching the especially internship in the medical writing. Okay, Dr. Devas Sharma is asking, what are the research proposals? Do you mind elaborating in a little bit? Yes, anyone wants to take this question, Akshima or Sarabji?
I think, Dr. Jeet, you are more expert in this.
Definitely, I
Yeah.
can go ahead. Yes. So research proposals are something. See, suppose you want to. One thing is like there are the grants. If you are writing the grants to the sponsors, okay, sponsors could be government or private agencies or the industries or anyone, okay, who sponsors the money for the research. So the proposal means the initial protocol and initial draft of your plan, what you are planning to do, what kind of research you are having in the mind. Just jot down on the paper in a in a better manner, like a protocol, like what is the novelty in this, what will be the site, what will be the resources, and how many participants you need, or maybe how much funds you need. You have to clarify a certain things like novelty, site, resources you have to pursue that research, and how much money you are asking. These are the major things, and literature to support your research idea or hypothesis. Okay, so when you are writing this, and so the entire thing is called as research proposal, and you are submitting it to the agencies like ICMR, maybe DST, or any government agencies, or any private company or private funding agencies, or maybe there are many things, NGOs and all also, like Bill Melinda Gates Foundation is there, Reliance Foundation is there, Tata Foundation is there. So, and this is not only that you are proposing. Sometimes you also propose. Sometimes they also ask on particular topics. Like at the time of COVID, they ask multiple, the grant proposals on COVID-induced diabetes and multiple other things, right? So when you are writing a proposal, you have an idea and you are just jotting down in the proper way and submitting to the sponsor. That is called as research proposal. Okay, that is kind of protocol only, but it is in the elaborated manner. And there you will be putting what exactly you are proposing to them. What exactly resources do you have? What exactly resources do you have? And what amount you are asking for, and how you are justifying that amount. What is the novelty in your idea? Okay, that is research proposal, right, guys? Understood, Dr. Devas?
Yes, Dr. Ajit, one more question I think you can answer. How they can publish for free? So if you can speak little about that.
See, how they can
Someone
publish
asked.
for free. If your research is good, please go for Scopus indexed or PubMed indexed or Web indexed, Web of Science indexed journals. Most of the journals, let me tell you guys, most of the journals, 80% of the journals are free. Okay, you will see the some journals are having subscription based, some journals are having paid, some journals are open access. But always, if you are good in writing, if your paper is good, if your research is good, if your article is really good, you don't have to pay anything. You just go for the subscription basis and you submit it to a good journal. Good journals never ask for the money. Okay, only the the predatory journals or the journals who are fraud ask for the money, until you don't want your article to be open access. If you are asking for the open access in a good journal, they will charge you in lakhs. Okay, like if you are going for the open access paper in Nature, they charge around 4.5 lakh per article. Okay, if you want open access in BMJ, they charge about 3.5 lakh per article. Right, in Taylor and Francis, if you want, they charge around 1.8 lakh. Right, until and unless you don't want the open access paper, they won't charge you. They will publish your paper free of cost. Okay, so there are two models. Open access means you are paying to the journal, and journal will immediately put the entire paper for audience. They can read, they can download, they can get references out of it. And another one is subscription basis, means they will not charge from you, they will charge from the audience. Like usually they charge, if you want to download this paper, pay $30. If you want to read this paper for 24 hours, pay $36 or $40. Or if you want to download, pay $60, like that. So there are two things. If you want to publish for free, go for the subscription basis, so you don't have to pay anything, audience will pay. Okay, so all the good journals have the subscription basis things also. Please do not go for open access or predatory journals, right? Yes, anything else? Okay,
I
Sakshi.
think, yeah, we have covered almost everything, Dr. Jeet, right?
Yeah, basically it's formal
So
document that explains your plan of research, your topics.
they,
Yes.
yeah, they can, students should, one thing I can also tell you guys is to
Internship is
start
virtual.
doing the
Yes.
research.
Okay, internship is virtual. There is one more question I forgot. What Fatima was asking, can we pursue medical writing in parallel with our core field job or practice? If you have good experience and if you want to become a freelance medical writing for the pocket money, you can. But medical writing is not a simple job that you can just do with some other jobs. And I would like to take comments from Sarabji and Akshima also on this.
I
Yes, it is full
also,
time job.
yeah, I also thought so, Dr. Ajit, that I will do my dentistry alongside medical writing.
Yes,
But
definitely.
the plan failed because it is a totally involving job. It will involve you from the start of your day till the end of your day. You
Yes,
cannot commit so many things together. And
absolutely.
I would also like the audience to say that not to take this profession lightly or a
Yeah.
part-time thing, because it is a dedicated work. And if I mean, any other work you can start on you can think of doing in the weekend, maybe some on a hobby per se. But two swords cannot be in one cage kind of thing. So we can't. I think it's we if one should not even try to do, because it will not do a just good justice to your medical writing job.
And guys, as our mentor said, medical writing is just not the writing or typing on the paper. It needs extensive literature search, it needs extensive grammar knowledge, it needs extensive medical terminology knowledge. And at the end, you're conscious, so you have to think and write. It should not be plagiarized, so it takes a lot of time. I'm telling you, literally, I have written my PhD thesis in 4 to 6 months. Okay, and one paper takes, if you can write one, you see, you can write 12 pages in one day, literally. But when you are writing a scientific paper, it takes around 1 month to 6 months. Okay, at the international level, systematic reviews on an average time for a systematic review takes 12 months, 6 months to 12 months. Okay, so it's not an easy job, and there are multiple people who are in the team and working on to write a systematic review, because it needs lot of literature search, it needs lot of data search, create form creations and data extraction, and out of data extraction then you will write. And in writing also you have to take care of plagiarism, you have to take care of grammar, you have to take care of your a lot of things are there, so it's not just about writing, right? It's very tough. And somebody is asking, how can I directly enter to regulatory writing? So our both of the mentors rightly said, you have to start with the basics like narrative writing or something, and then after a year or after 2 years of experience you can go to specialization of the medical writing. I hope that's justifying, Tanvi. Yes, anyone, any questions? Last questions we will take, guys.
I think, Dr. Jeet, we have covered almost everything in detail, right?
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So I hope in some or other way a student find it helpful.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
they are
Okay.
interested, they
Yes,
can
guys,
enroll
any
in the
questions?
course.
No questions, then we'll wind up. Thank you very much for joining. And there is no feedback form, as the registered participants are, it's not only registered who are attending this. Okay? So, guys, thank you. And I would like to thank Dr. Akshima and Sarabji also for this wonderful delivery and insightful talk. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Take care.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Akshima.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Take care.
you, Sarab. Thank you, Dr. Ajit. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.